Hey guys, welcome back. Today is the bread video. I'm going to be making 2 loaves. I'm going to show you different ways and different ingredients to make this bread. You don't need a bread machine. You just need a mixer. Most people have a mixer. You could try to do this by hand, but I personally wouldn't. Kneading forever is just not fun for me, but if you like to knead dough, have at it. But I'm going to show you all the ingredients you guys need, and I'll link the recipe in the description. So let's get started. Alright guys, you can see my mixer, and this is the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need 2 cups of warm water, and we're going to heat that up here in a second. 1/4 of a cup of sugar or honey. I've done both. They both work great. That's preference. 1½ tablespoon of yeast, 1½ teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of oil, and then 5½ cups of flour. I've used all-purpose, but you can also use bread flour. I've not tried it with almond flour or anything like that, so that would be something that you could try to see if it works. Now the water we're going to heat up to no more than right at 100 degrees, okay? So I'm going to put this is filtered water. I'm going to put this in the microwave, or if you can heat it up on the stove, whatever your preference is. I'm going to heat it in the microwave for about 40 seconds. 40 to 50 seconds, that's how long it takes for it to get around right at 100. You don't want it any hotter. Sometimes if you get it too hot, it will kill the yeast. Now, the yeast that I'm using, none of this is sponsored, so I'm going to show you the labels, but none of this is sponsored. But I have active dry, and then I have instant. Okay, quick rise instant yeast. I have used both of these in testing to see if they would do the same. They basically perform the same, so whichever one you have, it doesn't matter. I'm using local honey from a local store. It's really good. Or you can use sugar. You can use, it doesn't matter, you can use the white sugar, or if you have the raw cane sugar, use that. So I'm doing just vegetable oil. You could try canola oil, and just regular salt. Now we're going to get this heated up to around 100 degrees. All right, I heated that up. Now, one thing I would recommend is a digital thermometer. I love this one. It's from the brand OXO. It works great. I use this for a lot of stuff. Let's see. I put it in for 50 seconds. So not enough. I'm going to get it closer to 100 before I put it in the bowl with the yeast. Pretty darn close. 98, 99. So that's good enough. Now I'm going to put the yeast inside here. Remember, we need a tablespoon and a half of yeast, and you can do instant or active dry, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so tablespoon and a half of your preferred yeast, 2 cups warm water. I'm going to do 1/4 of a cup of honey. Now, in order for the honey not to stick to this, you can use some cooking spray like Pam and just spray the inside lightly, and then dump the honey in. So there's 1/4 of a cup of honey. And it should come out easy and not stick to your measuring cup very much. Let's see if it did. See? Pretty much clean. Easy. Now stir this around and let it sit and proof for 5 minutes. Put a timer on for 5 minutes. Make sure you stir the honey around really good, because the yeast feeds off the honey or the sugar. Whatever sugar you put inside here, it will feed off of that. Stir it around really good and then let it sit. It's been 5 minutes. You can see that it's foamy. You can smell the yeast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the 1.5 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you like it saltier, you could probably do 2 teaspoons of salt. 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. And remember to use your dough hook if you have one of these. And now for the flour, I'm going to show you guys something. When you are scooping out flour, you don't want to pack it in there like really, really tight. All you want to do is scoop it lightly, then use the back of a butter knife and just run it across the top. And it makes it even, okay? And it's not packed down in there because sometimes people use, when they make bread, they pack it in there so much they have too much flour and then they have a dense loaf. So this is what you can do for all of the flour. And once you do that, I'm not going to mix it in a bowl separately. I'm just going to start dumping it in, and I'm going to put this on low. So it's going to be a little loud, but I'm going to put this on low and get the 5 cups because that was a 1/2 cup and I need 5 more cups. All right, guys, see? You don't want to put it on really, really high. There's 2. Same thing with the bigger cups, you just scrape it away and make it even. This is going to be 3. Keep going until 5. Okay guys, I stopped this just so it's really noisy, but see how it's almost incorporated, but not all the way? I'm going to turn it to a medium-high speed just so it can incorporate everything off the sides of the bowls until it cleans the sides of the bowls, and we're going to let it knead for about 3 to 5 minutes. Four minutes went off. I'm going to check it. See how it's tacky, but it's not really sticking to my hands? See? There's nothing on my hands. This is when you want to stop. It needs to be tacky, but not sticky. And you're going to scrape it off this hook. Down, and I have a scraper that I'm going to use to put in this bowl, but I just have a big metal bowl that I put some vegetable oil in, and I ran it around the rim and everything. This is what you're going to put it in to rise for an hour, and you're just going to leave it alone. So I'm going to get this out and put it in there. Okay, and you're just going to scrape it out, or you can use your fingers, whatever you got. Scrape it out of here. Just put it in a pile right there. Scrape everything out. Okay, and now put a damp cloth or a drying towel, whatever you got. You can flip this over if you wanted to get both sides oiled, and just let it sit for an hour. And make sure your house is semi-warm, because sometimes when it's really cold in my house, because we usually keep it cold in the winter, it takes a long time for it to rise. So you want to make sure it's at semi-warm in your house, or put it somewhere warm. Okay, the timers went off. I checked it. It doubled in size. That's what you want. But I'm going to take my loaf pans, and I'm going to use this, because it's my favorite, Baker's Joy, to spray inside, or you can use Crisco grease, stuff like that to grease the inside. But I'm going to just lightly do it like that to where it's completely covered for the bread, because the bread's going to have to rise in these for another 45 minutes or so. See? I'm going to put those to the side. I'm going to get ready to flip out. Now you need something, if you have, you want to use your countertop, that's fine, but I usually use my wood cutting board for this. I'll show you. See how good it looks? I'm about to punch it down like that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it out onto the board. Now it has some grease in here, actually not grease, some oil in here from where, I don't know if you can see that oil right there. That's just going to go out on the board too, and it's going to help me separate it. Okay, so that, I got almost every single thing out of there, so that's good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that, okay? See how it flipped out? Now I'm going to just basically cut this in half, because I'm going to try to shape it some, and you can make sure the grease is all, the oil is all around. But I'm going to cut this in half for 2 loaves. Whatever you got, use that. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to tuck it under. This. Okay. And you just shape it. Now the ends, I take and I kind of pinch and I tuck underneath. And then just keep shaping it until you put it inside your already greased pan. So I'll take it, I'll kind of stretch it out some, and I'll lay it inside the pan. Okay, and I'm going to do that for this one too, and then I'm going to lay them on the board and just put this damp towel that I had right back over them and let them sit for another 45 to 50 minutes, okay? So once again, just shape the loaf however you want. You could knead it a little bit if you wanted to. I don't usually do that. It's not necessary, but if you wanted to, you could. Remember, I take the ends and kind of pinch them together, fold them underneath, and then reshape it to how you want it. And then usually I'll pull it a little bit to fit the whole pan. See? And now I'm just going to cover them again. Let them rise for 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. But also remember to turn your oven on to 350 about halfway through, so your oven will be preheated when these are done. Alright, here's what they look like after the 45-50 minutes, and then you just put them in 350 for 30 minutes. Alright guys, it's out, it's cooled for a little while. This is really good bread. My daughters love this for grilled cheese, sandwiches, everything. They said it's the best bread to have, especially for grilled cheeses. Now I do store them. I can store them in these bread bags I got. I think I got these off of Amazon, or sometimes I put them, if I put them in the freezer, I'll put them in a Ziploc bag. And you can reuse the bag if you wash it out, but I'll put one in the freezer and keep one out to use. Hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Try it. It's really good. We're having a really bad snow day right now, so warm bread is always good. See you guys next time.